Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Rhea Ripley kicked off this week's episode of WWE Raw. It was later confirmed that Damian Priest is no longer working with her on TV. Ripley was targeted by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to start the show after being interrupted by Tiffany Stratton. As part of a backstage segment, Adam Pearce would only let Ripley wrestle Morgan and Rodriguez in a tag team match. When she asked if she could work with Priest, it was clear that this was no longer an option. Stratton was then announced as her partner, despite the two women not seeing eye to eye. Priest and Ripley had a conversation backstage where they made it clear that they would still back each other up if needed but were no longer working as a team. Despite this, Ripley still has Priest's back and has shared the fact that WWE has released his new figure on both her Instagram and Twitter pages. It is clear that even though Damian and Rhea are both going on separate paths, they still want to remain close friends. Will Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest work together in the future? There are times in WWE when tag teams and couples opt to go their separate ways because they want to achieve different things alone. Ripley and Priest had the Judgment Day as their main reason for working together in recent months, and now they have moved past that angle. They have no reason to remain together. Ripley is in the women's division and will need a partner of her own against Morgan and Rodriguez if she desires one. Priest made it very clear that he wants the title back that he was screwed out of at SummerSlam. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest have shared a long history within WWE as members of the Judgment Day, but recent events have left fans questioning if their paths will continue to intertwine. Since both superstars have grown into dominant forces, individually and as part of their faction, speculation swirls around whether they will continue working together in the future or be pulled apart by the evolving dynamics of the Judgment Day. In the aftermath of their recent struggles, both Ripley and Priest have been at the center of internal conflict within the Judgment Day. The faction, once a tight-knit unit under Finn Balor's leadership, has begun to show cracks. Ripley, the reigning women's world champion, has solidified herself as the alpha of the group with her fierce determination and unrivaled loyalty to the stable. Priest, on the other hand, has found himself at odds with Balor over his Money in the Bank briefcase, which has served as a source of tension and power struggle within the group. As rumors continue to circulate about the potential for further rifts, many fans wonder if Ripley and Priest will remain united in the face of these challenges or if their partnership is destined for an eventual breakdown. A complicated partnership. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest's partnership has always been complicated. While they've often worked seamlessly in the ring, their relationship is built on mutual respect and ambition, not necessarily friendship. Ripley, with her aggressive style and unrelenting pursuit of dominance, has never been one to back down from a fight. Priest, with his brooding demeanor and calculated approach, brings a different energy to the table. Together, they've formed a deadly alliance that has helped the Judgment Day rise to new heights. However, Priest's ambition to cash in his Money in the Bank contract has become a point of contention. As much as Ripley supports her stablemate's success, there's an unspoken understanding that Priest's victory could mean changes in power dynamics within the group. If he were to cash in and win the World Heavyweight Championship, Priest would become the central figure of the Judgment Day, a position that Ripley, despite her status as champion, might not take kindly to. Their partnership has always been about pushing each other to new heights, but could that competitive nature ultimately be their undoing? The Judgment Day's future. The Judgment Day has become one of WWE's most compelling factions, but with success comes the inevitable question of how long such alliances can last. Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley have built a powerful unit, but each member has their own goals and aspirations. As tensions rise, the cracks in their foundation have become more apparent. Ripley, ever the strategist, has worked to maintain the group's unity, often playing mediator between Balor and Priest. She knows that as long as the Judgment Day stays together, they can continue to dominate both Raw and SmackDown. However, with Balor still nursing his wounds from failed title opportunities and Priest eager to cash in his contract, it's clear that a major shakeup could be on the horizon. The looming question is whether Ripley and Priest will stay on the same page or if one will turn on the other to further their own ambitions. Could we see Ripley using her influence to ensure Priest's failure if it means protecting her own status? Or would Priest, in a moment of desperation, betray Ripley to secure his place at the top? The power struggle Damian Priest's money in the bank briefcase remains the ultimate wildcard in the Judgment Day's future. If he cashes in successfully, it could mark the beginning of a power struggle within the group, especially if he wins the title and becomes the new leader in the eyes of many. Rhea Ripley, while supportive, is not one to sit in the shadows. She has carried the Women's World Championship with authority, and her presence in the faction has been as crucial as any male member. Fans have long speculated that Ripley, in her ruthless pursuit of control, could become disillusioned with Priest's growing ambition. If she senses that his victory could overshadow her reign, Ripley might take drastic measures to ensure she remains the true leader of the Judgment Day. After all, Ripley has never been one to share the spotlight willingly. On the flip side, Priest might recognize that his greatest competition within the Judgment Day isn't Finn Balor or Dominic Mysterio, but Ripley herself. While his initial focus has been on Balor, should he become champion, Priest may realize that Ripley is the one standing in the way of his full control over the group. Will they work together? For now, it seems that Ripley and Priest's paths remain intertwined, but the future is uncertain. Their mutual respect and the power they wield together as part of the Judgment Day are undeniable. However, as individual ambitions begin to take precedence, it's unclear how long their partnership can last without one betraying the other. If they do continue working together, it may require significant compromises on both sides. Ripley would need to accept Priest as a dominant figure within the group, potentially sharing leadership, while Priest would need to acknowledge Ripley's influence and status as the face of the women's division. It's a delicate balance, but one that could result in continued success if handled correctly. Alternatively, the Judgment Day could implode entirely, leading to a dramatic breakup that sees Ripley and Priest go their separate ways. In this scenario, both superstars would likely become even more dangerous as solo competitors, using their experience as part of the faction to fuel their individual pursuits. The final betrayal? In the end, the question of whether Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest will continue working together boils down to one thing: loyalty. As WWE history has shown time and time again, alliances in professional wrestling are fleeting. At some point, personal ambition outweighs loyalty, and someone gets stabbed in the back. Whether it's Ripley turning on Priest to protect her reign or Priest cashing in his briefcase at Ripley's expense, fans are left wondering not if a betrayal will happen, but when. Until then, the duo remains a dominant force in WWE, but the clock is ticking, and the seeds of dissension have already been planted. As the landscape of WWE continues to shift, the fate of Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest hangs in the balance. Will they continue to work together to dominate the competition, or will personal ambition tear them apart, leaving the Judgment Day in ruins? Only time will tell.